What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to Chris on the Mic. It's been a crazy couple of days here this weekend as San Diego Comic-Con just kicked off yesterday. And there's been breaking news that just came out at Comic-Con as reported by Deadline. Ben Affleck, who is on to play Batman in the new Batman v Superman movie next year, has just signed on to not only star but also direct and co-write the new Batman movie for their DC comic book universe cinematic franchise. Now, also to co-write with Ben Affleck, has just been reported that Chief Creative Officer of DC Comics, Geoff Johns, who's created some comics that are very popular during the 21st century, including Flashpoint with The Flash and also Batman Earth 1, has also signed on to co-write and assist Ben Affleck in writing this script for the new Batman movie. Now, there hasn't been a specific date leaked about when the movie might come out. This has been reported just by Deadline. It hasn't been officially said through the mouth of Ben Affleck or any representative from DC yet. The DC comic book universe is not going to be on the panel for Comic-Con until tomorrow morning, so we still have a lot to look forward to when it comes to that fact. But I just wanted to review that, talk about that a little bit. And quite frankly, it's not something that I don't think anybody wasn't expecting. Once Ben Affleck signed on to play Batman and Batman v Superman, I think we all expected that he probably had a clause in his contract where he said, hey, I'll come in and I'll play Batman, but I gotta have creative reign over the next solo Batman movie at least. Ben Affleck has proven himself ever since Gone Baby Gone, during I believe 2007, that he is a more than capable director. Actually, he has an incredible knack. He might be a better director than he is an actor. And that's no disrespect to his acting ability, but that's more accredited to his directing ability. The guy has a knack for directing not only action, but drama, and basically molding them together to create a beautiful film. He's directed Gone Baby Gone. He's directed The Town, which is one of my favorite heist films in the past 20 years. And he's also directed the recent Academy Award-winning Argo. So he is proven that if you put him behind the camera, he could definitely get it done from a director standpoint. And over the last 5 to 6 years, he's proven that he has improved greatly as an actor through his performances. And if he's able to and also if you look at The Town and you also look at Argo, movies which he not only directed in but was starring in, he's good at juggling both the directing and acting duties, which is not easy. Not many actors could do that. Not many actors could direct a film that they're also starring in and do it well. Ben Affleck has proved it twice that he has the capability. Now, when we go into him having a co-writer in Geoff Johns, a lot of people probably expected Chris Terrio, who not only helped Ben Affleck write the Academy Award-winning screenplay with Argo, but also helped helm or rewrite the new Batman v Superman script that they're going to be coming out with next year. And also Chris Terrio's also going to be writing, I think I heard rumor that he already finished writing the Justice League script, or at least Justice League Part 1 script. So, Chris Terrio's been aiding Zack Snyder and basically creating this cinematic universe within the DC sector. But it was kind of interesting to find out that he's not going to be helping Ben Affleck, who has been like his partner in crime when it came to directing and writing and stuff. Ben Affleck gave him his big break, and they both help each other out, and they both won an award. Both won an Oscar through their efforts with Argo. But to get Geoff Johns, the chief creative officer for DC Comics, and a guy who's who's written some pretty good comics. I'm not the biggest fan of Geoff Johns. Personally, I would have wanted, maybe if I had to choose, I would have wanted somebody else, but it's not my choice to make. But at the same time, I do respect it. It's still a good call. The guy does know his stuff. I love Flashpoint. If nobody's ever read the Flashpoint comics, it's basically a Flash story, but it's still a very well done comic, and I love the animated movie that DC made with it. And he also did Batman Earth 1. So, he really stayed away. Geoff Johns really stayed away from Batman early in his career. But, as the New 52 came in, he started to, dip back into the Batman lore. And Batman Earth 1 was a good story. It was retelling of the origin. I hope that they don't do that with the new Batman film. I think we have the perfect origin with Batman Begins. I just hope they, there's so many great storylines out there that I think they could dive into. One of my favorite storylines I want them to dive into with the new Batman movie would be like Hush or The Long Halloween, or maybe even dive into some of the new storylines given through the video game properties, because the video game properties have delivered some incredible storylines. When you look at Arkham Asylum, or even Arkham City, they have some pretty good storylines in there that you could probably take some plot points from. And of course my number one storyline for them to adapt with this new Batman movie would be Under the Red Hood. I love one of my favorite characters is the Red Hood, and Jason Todd. I love that story arc, and it ties in well with Death in the Family. So I think that would be a great jump off point for Ben Affleck to head into his new movie. But I really think that you could have gone wrong with having Ben Affleck direct this movie. I think Ben Affleck totally has the skill to really dive deep into the Batman mental state. To really dive deep into how this character could not only just be this tragic, dramatic character, but maybe even make it more of a detective, thriller type movie. A lot of people have always said that while I love the Chris Nolan movies, they're my favorite Batman movies, they're my favorite superhero movies of all time. Yeah, they did show some detective elements in the movies, but they never really said we're going to do a whole detective type story. Their story was always focused on the dramatic issues of the characters. I would love this next movie to be more of a I think if you have had to take a movie that I would love for it to copy, I would say like a Seven, where it's a very detective like thriller, where you have a villain, maybe like the Riddler, or maybe like the Penguin, and Batman has to really figure out every moment of the movie what's going to be the next step. And it's basically Batman playing cat and mouse with somebody else on a mental level. And that's what I would love to see. I really would love to see a great detective film with Batman. I think that Ben Affleck has the skill to do it. He could write. We haven't seen him write a lot, but I'm pretty sure he could do it. Don't forget the guy did win an Oscar for Good Will Hunting. So the guy has some skills. He's good, but he's great behind the camera. He's in my opinion, he's one of the top 10 directors out now. One on a side note, I really do hope that DC does contact Bruce Timm's. For those who don't know Bruce Timm is basically the godfather of the DC animated universe that came out in the 90s and early 2000s. And I think that he made the ideal characterizations for all these DC characters, from Batman, Superman, the whole Justice League, to even the minor characters like Booster Gold. And I hope, and like he created the Batman the animated series, and to me that's a definitive Batman blueprint. If you want to make Batman, just look at that animated series, and bam, you have it. You could that animated series took so many elements out of all the classic Batman, lore, all the classic Batman lore, and put it out there. I hope one day they do contact Bruce Timm and say, hey, come along. Maybe they already did, I'm not sure, but I hope that, they announce and say, hey, we have Bruce Timm working with us hand in hand, because I think that he knows these characters so well. And in my opinion, maybe even more so than Geoff Johns. I like Geoff Johns as a writer, but he wouldn't be my first choice. So a lot of my favorite, story arcs in DC comics is pre-New 52, and Geoff Johns is more of a New 52 type guy. He came into prominence through the New 52, creating nice arcs for Aquaman and stuff like that. And personally, I haven't been a big fan of the New 52. There's some good arcs from there. Batman the Court of Owls is a good arc, and then you also have a couple of other arcs such as the Aquaman storyline and the Suicide Squad issues. Those have been pretty good. But all in all, I've been more. I'm not a post New 52 guy. I'm more of a pre New 52 type guy. But that does not take away anything from Geoff Johns. I think that with him and Ben Affleck, helming this together, they could find a great medium. And I think it's great. That's great news coming out. And the thing is, DC's hitting up with some news before they even get out on the floor tomorrow. So that's something I expect maybe to be announced. Maybe it won't even be announced tomorrow, but I expect that to at least be said by if not Ben Affleck himself, by somebody within the organization to say, hey, we have Ben Affleck signed on to direct. And apparently the movie's going to be called The Batman, which is awesome for me. Hey, why not? Just if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just call it The Batman. We all know where's maybe later on, if they find a storyline, they might have a subtitle with it, but leave it at The Batman. Why not? But hey guys, I think this is awesome news. I'm totally glad that they got Ben Affleck not only to star and write in it, but also directed. I think that's a huge win for DC. Most of us saw it coming, but just to have it confirmed via Deadline, which is a reliable source, it's awesome. And sound off below. If y'all have any opinions, maybe y'all think that y'all like somebody else to direct the movie, feel free to say so. Maybe if you wanted somebody else to co-write it with Ben Affleck, except Geoff Johns, list it below. Or if you're a person like me, if you like Bruce Timms and you think that he needs to be more involved, feel free to list that below too. I would love to battle, I would love to debate with y'all on the matter. So it's going to be a lot more news coming out from Chris on the mic as the weekend gets into it. There's going to be a lot more panels coming out today and tomorrow. So get ready for more news coming out. I love Comic-Con weekend. I know y'all love Comic-Con weekend. And, let's just get ready to have some fun, man. There's going to be a lot of great films coming out, not only this year, but next year. And I just can't wait to hear some of the stuff they have cooked up for us. So signing off, this is Chris on the mic. Remember, you all got a voice. So keep the mic close to you and speak out loud. Let your voice be heard. 1.